A young man came into the office to talk with the minister. He came to express that he no longer believed in God. The minister replied with insight and wisdom. "Tell me about the God you don't believe in," he said. "I may not believe in him either." Meaning that an accurate understanding of God matters. Unfortunately, there are many misunderstandings about God, which leads to an array of viewpoints and responses, most of them making God small and inadequate. To really understand Him, let's let God speak for Himself, and there's no better place than at the burning bush. Through a turn of events, Moses fled Egypt for the wilderness. He was there for 40 years as his fellow Hebrews lived as slaves. One day, while he was tending the sheep of his father-in-law, he saw a bush that continued to burn. So he decided to go closer and see how a bush could continue burning without being burned up. God called to him out of the bush, "Moses, Moses." And Moses answered, "Here I am." Then God said, "Don't come any closer. Take off your sandals. You are standing on holy ground." Moses covered his face because he was afraid to look at God. And then the Lord said, "I have seen the troubles my people have suffered in Egypt, and I have heard their cries when the Egyptians hurt them. I know their pain. So now I am sending you to Pharaoh. Go, lead my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." And Moses responded, "But if I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your ancestors sent me,' then the people will ask, 'Well, what is his name?' What should I tell them?" And God gives Moses the answer in Exodus 3:14 and 15. God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you." God also said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation." God is unveiling that He is totally and completely self-sufficient. He alone is of Himself God and is dependent on nothing. He is not caused by another, but is the foundation of all being. He was not created, but is outside of creation. God transcends all categories of time, space, and matter. If He's limited by these and affected by these, He wouldn't be God. So, when we're faced with God's fascinating and mysterious presence, we discover our own insignificance. God also revealed Himself as holy, and Moses was afraid to look at God. To be holy is to be set apart. It refers to God's unique person. God is totally, radically, and completely different. He's absolutely holy with an infinite, incomprehensible fullness of purity that is incapable of being any other. His holiness means that all of created order functions within a moral order of defined good and defined evil. There's something about the holiness of God that attracts us, but there's also something that holds us back and frightens us. On the one hand, it fascinates, and on the other hand, it terrifies. Now, I know that was a deep dive for just a moment, but it was for a reason. I want you to be aware that God is not small and manageable. Only an in-depth study of a limitless God is honest and reasonable. Many people, if not most, have an inaccurate and unfair view of God. They fashion Him to their own wishes and whims, making God easy to ignore, dismiss,